Hello, my name is Brenda and my channel is Handwork Maniac. Today is Monday, June 28th, 2021. I did actually remember to change the calendar this time. And I'm going to talk today about my local stitching store, the Craft Center of Fine Stitchery in Salt Lake City. And I'm also going to talk about the StitchCon retreat that I just attended and then show you what I stitched on while I was at StitchCon. So back in April, I finally made it to my local store, LNS, Local Needlework Store, which is the Craft Center of Fine Stitchery, and it is a wonderful store. So I thought I'd show you what I bought that day at the store. Jamie, let me put the crinkly bag down. Jamie designs these fabulous designs, and then she puts it together as a kit with a block of wood and everything you need, the perforated paper, the ribbon, everything you need to make it look just like that. And then it stands up. And she has a lot of different ones of these. They are so cute. So I bought this one that says August. She also has just the charts if you'd rather just buy the chart and not the whole kit. But I love her blocks that she sells like this. I'm going to make this August one and then I'll show it to you when it's finished. I bet I could stitch that in a day. And then they had this dimensions kit there called Illustrated USA. It's a dimensions kit. It comes with the fabric and the floss. And I just thought it was so cute. They had a model of this Cricut Collection Farmers Market there. It was beautiful. So I needed this chart, of course. They have some beautiful fabric there. It's all hung in bags so that you can see it all. This is 40 count natural. So I bought some of that. I bought Hands-On Design, The Summer Night. And Hands-On Design came the spring. I've been eyeing those for a while. And there's another one that's around here somewhere. I'll find it. When I find it, I'll show it to you. The Craft Center is fabulous. Craft Center of Fine Stitchery. It's just a cross-stitch store, not other crafts. Although I think she still has a little bit of, she still has a little bit of tatting thread. They have kits, they have charts, they have lots of models, they have Weeks Dye Works floss, they have Gentle Arts floss, they have DMC, they have Classic Colorworks floss. They have scissors and needles and fabric and everything. It's a fabulous store. You should go and visit. They're wonderful people. And then also in April, I received some things from some friends of mine. My friend Kathy D sent me a beautiful card and this Whitman box because she knows that I want to stitch a project that our EGA Guild did years ago. I know it was the Swan Sampler Guild did years ago. I have a little project that goes on top of the size of a box, and she had one and sent it to me. Thank you, Kathy. And my friend Colette gave me this bee that I'm going to put on a ring of floss. This beautiful needle tin with a needle minder by Zappy Dots. This fabulous pad of paper The beach is my happy place. And this beautiful Mill Hill kit for this snowflake ornament. It's called Sapphire Crystal. And my wonderful friend Lonnie gave me this box with this beautiful wall hanging in it, or you could put it on top of a shelf. This beautiful fob, bee fob. This needle minder that I love. This cup was full of gummy bears. I already ate them all. This fabulous block party hands-on design called Home. Can't wait to stitch that. And this Misty Purcell pattern called Haunted with the fabric and floss to stitch it. Thank you, Lonnie. All right, I think we're ready to move to StitchCon. So StitchCon was in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was a retreat that's put on by the Keepsakes store in Sharonville, which is just outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. And you may watch Pam and Steph of Just Keep Stitchin'. Steph works at the Keepsakes store, so they are on the committee that helps with StitchCon. And Barbara at Keepsakes and her whole StitchCon team did such a fabulous job. It was so fun just to be there and feel kind of like normal life, to be at a retreat, to hug, to talk to people, to be in a big room with other stitchers. It was just the most wonderful thing. It was just fabulous. The StitchCon room, everyone talking, having fun. We're gonna have a smalls exchange at 4. Those are the bags up there on the table. Ready for the smalls, the third smalls exchange. This is the brag table. That is the freebie table. It looks like it's been organized since yesterday. It's looking good. And they worked so hard and they did such a great job. It was wonderful. We got the StitchCon bag with all the StitchCon goodies in it, which I'm sure you've seen on several other channels already. The mask, the pen, the fabulous StitchCon passport book that had all of the freebie patterns in it. And this wonderful Christmas ornament we all got that has the state of Ohio on it. It has a little star down there for Cincinnati or Sharonville. You can put orts in this and hang it on your Christmas tree. Oh, and it was the year of the cicadas because in the Ohio area, in Cincinnati, Ohio, the cicadas in that area are called Brood X, and they come out of the ground every 17 years. They stay underground for 17 years, and then they all come out of the ground at the same time, about this time of year. And they're everywhere, everywhere. Andrew will insert a picture right here, a close-up of one. And then Andrew will also insert a video right here of what they sound like when they're all making noise.
Yeah.
Loud cicadas.
I had that happen to me and I'm like, really?
I was fascinated by them. I had to look up, I had to do some research on them while I was there, find out all about them. They were fun to watch. They don't make noise at night, which I thought was really interesting. when it gets dark, they're quiet. So it wasn't a problem at night. They're only making noise during the day, and they're always they only stay in the trees. They don't like fly around in swarms, or they're not all over every plant and bush and everything. They're only in the trees, and they stay pretty close to the trees. If the parking lot had trees nearby, they'd kind of come over and get curious about you and then go right back to their tree. They don't bite or sting or anything. They were just, it was fun to experience. I was really happy I got to see it. Being out here in the hot, dry desert west, I had never seen cicadas before, so that was fun. I got my cicada t-shirt. It's a Charlie Harper art design. We bought those at a store called Fabulous Art and Frame, which is just on the corner, down on the corner from on the same street as the convention center where we were, the Sharonville Convention Center. And that store sells a whole bunch of Charlie Harper art in all different forms. And they had these t-shirts that someone has, they put their back in 2021 on it. It was awesome. I love the shirt. I loved the cicadas. That was so fun. They didn't bother me at all. I just thought they were fascinating. We had several there were cicada project bags you could buy. There were cicada needleminders. There was a t-shirt that had been designed by one of the people coming to StitchCon that said Brood X Stitch on it and had a picture of a cicada. Those were awesome. It was just fun. I took needleminders to trade. My awesome daughter-in-law, Hannah, made me a whole bunch of needleminders out of these mini dominoes that she stamps and then paints so that I could trade and give away needleminders. She has an Etsy store called SunshineMamasDesigns. If you're interested. And it was so fun to give those away and trade with people. And these are all of the needleminders that I received. This one has a cicada on it. But it was so fun. This flamingo right here is from Mary Ann, a new stitcher I met at StitchCon. Andrew will put a clip in right here of me and Mary Ann together, and also of Mary Ann stitching. And this is my good friend, Mary Ann.
Hi, everybody. I
promised I'd talk about her on the video, and then I thought, okay, we're just putting her on the video. So here she is. And here is...
This is Dark Queen. This is called Gypsy by Mirabilia.
Mary Ann stitched that. Isn't that gorgeous? She's beautiful.
Thank you.
But I got that flamingo from her, and she's from Florida, so that's perfect. Well, she's from Florida, but she still thinks she's from California, but she's really from Florida. So everyone, if you know her, reminder, she's from Florida. Beautiful, beautiful things. So fun. I also got this beautiful bag, triangle bag from Stitch in Philly. She has a YouTube channel. Go check her out. It was so lovely of her to give that to me. Thank you. And I got a needle threader that has Ohio on it. What else? And my friend Becca, her channel is My Stitchy Home. She gave me this beautiful pattern. Home is Where You Hang Your Needlework by Homespun Elegance. And it came with the charms to stitch it. Thank you, Becca. And we got this freebie design from Lindy Stitches. Isn't he cute? All right, I think we're down to the haul that I purchased at StitchCon. Trying to decide which one to start with. We went to the Keepsakes store multiple times. Just because we needed to, I guess. Okay, I purchased this pattern at the Craft Center of Fine Stitchery. It's called the Flowershop, and it's by Thistles. They're located in the Netherlands. She had that there, and I saw it and fell in love with it. And it calls for all weeks, a whole bunch of Weeks Dye Works floss. So that day I just got the pattern, and then when I got to the register, my friend Colette purchased it for me. That was so nice of her. Thanks, Colette. So that was the piece I was missing that I was looking for earlier from the Craft Center bag. But when I was at Keepsakes, I realized that they had a large selection of Weeks Dye Works floss. So I went ahead and bought all the floss for the Flowershop. So I'm excited about that. I got this freebie in the Keepsakes store. Raising kids is like being pecked to death by a chicken. And I've found a pattern that I want to stitch and that has chickens on it, and I'm going to put this underneath. And when it comes, I'll show it to you and remind you what it's for. I bought this pattern by Sue Hillis. Sue Hillis is a local designer to Sharonville, and she designed this pattern specifically for Keepsakes. This is the Keepsakes store. This is what it looks like. It's in an old house. And you can only purchase this from Keepsakes. But I love Keepsakes so much, so I needed to have this so I could stitch the store. Here's their cat. 310 is his name. And Barbara has the most beautiful flower garden all around the store. It is gorgeous. I bought 2 pieces of 46 count fabric with my friend Kim. Kim was the most wonderful hostess. She lives local there. We met at Stitch West last fall here in Utah, but she happens to live in Cincinnati, and she took us to all the best places to eat. She took us anywhere we wanted to go. To Keepsakes. We went to Findlay, Ohio one day so we could go to the craft gallery. I'll get to that bag in a minute. She took us to Grater's Ice Cream because that's the famous ice cream there, and it was so good. Andrew will put a picture of the ice cream I had right here. She took us to Skyline Chili where I had a chilito. That was yummy. She took us to Chewy's Mexican restaurant, Fresh Mex. That was delicious. She took us to Smoky Bones. That was also delicious. Do you know that they make donuts right there on the premises after you order them? So they're like fresh right then, just cooked. And it was late at night, so I didn't order any, and I'm probably going to regret that for the rest of my life. So I'll have to go again. I have to go to Cincinnati again so I can have the donuts at Smoky Bones. Thank you, Kim. You are the most wonderful driver, hostess, friend, stitcher. She stitched with us. She was wonderful. She and I were looking at the 46 count fabric at Keepsakes and ended up buying, I bought 2 pieces. I think she bought 3. This one is 46 count flax. And I also bought another piece that I'll show you in a minute that I believe is natural. Kim, you need to tell me if I'm wrong, but is the other one that I bought called natural? Because I took the tag off and I haven't found it yet. It's somewhere in all my StitchCon stuff. And then I found this chart at Keepsakes. It's called A Stitch for All Seasons - Summer, and it's by Little Dove Designs. And I just think it's so cute. It's got the balcony with the plants. It's got the front door with the plants. It's got the little camper van. It's got the little VW buses. It's got someone swimming in the water. It just has all the things I love about summer and beautiful colors. It calls for DMC floss. So I'm definitely going to be stitching this one sometime soon. I bought these pins to go with my You Had Me at Flamingo pillow that I've showed you in the last video by Hands On Design. I thought this would go well with the flamingo pin. And then I bought this at Keepsakes. It's a little a little magnetic box. You can keep needles in it. I have one similar to this that I keep extra needles, my snag nabbit, and then my little tool that I use to rip out stitches. I keep them all in here, and it goes with me whenever I'm stitching somewhere. I bought this one for Marie. Don't tell her. It's a secret. Okay, so that came from the multiple trips that we went to Keepsakes. And then we went to Findlay, Ohio, to the craft gallery there. And I bought this piece called English Landscaped. It looks like it came from the Just Cross Stitch magazine, and then they published it as a separate leaflet. I think it's beautiful, but it does call for a lot of DMC colors. And I bought this Himzite pattern, Secret Garden. Comes with the charms. The craft gallery was so awesome. Paula and, oh, I can't remember her husband's name. Is it Carlton? I can't remember. They're so welcoming. They knew we traveled for a while to get there, and we came in and she said, here's the bathroom. There's coffee in here. There's soft drinks. There's donut holes, whatever you need. And then there's all this shopping. And they have everything. They have every kind of floss I've ever heard of. Millions of patterns, all kinds of fabric. It was an amazing store. If you're ever in the area, go see it. And I also bought what ended up being my StitchCon start while I was there, and bought all the floss for it while I was there, and used the other piece of 46 count that I bought at Keepsake. So I'll show you that in just a minute. And then weekend B of StitchCon started, and there was all the shopping in the Annex, which is a little store that Barbara sets up in a room right next to the convention room that we're having our convention in. So you can just run across the hall and buy stuff and then come right back. And I'm not going to tell you how many times I went over to the Annex and bought something, because it was a lot. So that stuff. Liz Matthews was at Weekend B. So fun to meet her. She's just a lovely, lovely person, just like in her videos. She also makes Flosstube videos. But this is one of her recent designs, My Home in the Garden. It is so beautiful. And Kim and Colette and I and several others, and Becca, I think, are going to stitch this as a stitch along September, October, somewhere around there. You're welcome to join us. We'll have to come up with a hashtag. It calls for Glorianna silks, but it also has the DMC conversion listed. I'm going to do it in Glorianna silks on 46 count white linen, Bristol white, I think. So that was fun. That was in the Annex. Barbara was having a sale on her color and cotton floss in the Annex. So I just bought a whole bunch of beautiful colors, some greens and several different oranges. Thinking maybe there's a monochromatic piece in here somewhere, right? There were several different fabric dyers that had their fabric for sale in the Annex. This one is from Fiber on a Whim, and it's called Color Happens, which I think is her ones that didn't quite turn out the color she was trying to do, so she sells them as a one-off. It's a beautiful green and brown color. It is 40 count. It's 40 count linen. And then this is a piece of 40 count Under the Sea fabrics. Leslie Under the Sea, she also had her fabrics there. This color is stone washed. Beautiful 40 count piece of that. Cricklewood Crossing. She's local here to me in Utah. She makes Flosstube. She's a stitcher and she also has an Etsy store. She had stuff for sale in the annex and that was fun to see her stuff and be able to shop for it right there in person. This is a set of floss drops and a floss keep with the cute bling on it. I'll take it out. It's called Garden Gnome Thread Keep. These are Cricklewood Crossing. So cute. And the green plaid floss drops. The Stitch Con floss keep, because I needed that one. This is a Cicada Needleminder, also by Cricklewood Crossing. That was so cool. And this is a Needleminder by Rebel Stitcher. She has a shop on Facebook and Instagram. But it says books on it. I think it's so cute. And she has one that says it's too peoply outside, but she had sold out of that one. So I'm gonna have to visit her store and buy one from her. Visit her online. Okay, there's a few other things, but they're in the projects I'm gonna show you. I think that's all of my haul, I think, from StitchCon. And then I had a new start at StitchCon, oh, which is in a bag that I also bought in the annex by Cross Stitch Fancies. And she is X Stitch Fancies. But it is the most beautiful project bag. Look at that. This is the pattern that I bought at the craft gallery, Star Village, also by Thistles. I just thought it was so cute. I love it. And it calls for a whole bunch of Gentle Arts threads on this one. Quite a few. I think there's 26. And I was able to buy most of them at the craft gallery. Oh, I also bought this thread keep from Cricklewood Crossing. It has the cute little rabbit charm. It looks like Peter Cottontail, maybe. And then these are all of the Gentle Arts colors for this project. Quite a few. And this is the other 46 count. Oh, and these are the thread drops that came with Peter Cottontail from Cricklewood Crossing. This is the other 46 count fabric that I bought at Keepsakes, which I think is called Natural. I'm not sure. I'll check on that and get back to you. But that's what I'm doing this project on. And I'm also using this Cicada Needleminder by Myriad and Maker. And that was the logo that was also on the front of the t-shirts. Put that there so you can see her information. And this is where I have so far. Love this piece. This has been so fun to stitch on. This is one strand of Gentle Arts floss over 2 fabric threads on 46 count linen, which I think is the color Natural. And that was my official StitchCon start. I had another start as soon as I got home and could get all the supplies. And it's all Lisa's fault at Stitch in the Dream. Lisa and Crystal do a Flosstube called Stitch in the Dream. They're local to Cincinnati. And I saw a couple of her projects that she was working on, and then I had to start them as soon as possible, but I had to get home and get the supplies before I could start them. One I have already started, called Colors of Water in English, but it's in another language. And Andrew will insert a clip right here where I have a special guest to help me show you that project. And here's my son Michael to tell us about my new start.
Hallo, ich heiße Michael und das Projekt, das Brenda anfangen wird, heißt Die Farben des Wassers, ein Muster nach alten Motivieren der Werkstatt für historische Stickmuster. Es wird auf 90er weißes Linen gestickt und mit dem Seitengarns Soie d'Alger und wird ein zum Schwein gestickt.
I don't know. I don't have any idea what you said. Could we get a translation of what you just said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Die Farben des Wassers, the colors of the water. Ein Muster nach alten Motivieren, a pattern after the old motivations, though I may be translating that incorrectly. Und der Werkstatt für historische Stickmuster. They're saying that it's from the workshop for historical stitch patterns. That's the name of the company. It will be on, as we would say in American terms, the 46 count white linen. She's using the Soie d'Alger thread and stitching it 1/2.
What does 1/2 stand for?
I believe it is 1 strand of thread over 2 strands of linen.
Good job, good job.
Yeah, I learned from a previous video that we're talking about stitching and not Dungeons and Dragons. That was new information.
I'm so glad we got the
Cleared that
memo
up, yeah.
to you and got that cleared up. Do you have any questions about this project?
Well, I am a little disappointed that the German stops where the pattern starts. I had hoped there would be some like German words in there or something, but it is beautiful. Blue is my favorite color, and those strong blues and greens.
Oh, you wanted German words in here?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. That was a fun new start from all Lisa's fault. She was working on the red version and doing it on something crazy like 1/1 on 40 count, and it was so pretty. And I've seen the Colors of Water one several times and thought, oh, I just never kept thinking I was going to buy it and then didn't, and then saw hers, and then I was like, oh, okay, got to start that right now. And then she was also working on Liz Matthews' The 12 Days of Christmas. Liz has 4 of them out right now. Hello, Liz Matthews, her name of her company. And I've looked at those and thought they were so beautiful, and then thought, do I really want to make 12 pillows or 12 trees? And they were for sale in the annex because I hadn't bought any of them yet. And then I saw Lisa's, and she was doing it all on one piece of fabric, I believe 1/1 on 46 count. And it was gorgeous, gorgeous. So I had to do that. So I bought, oh, where did I put it? Oh, sorry. I forgot. That's more haul that I forgot about. So I bought the 4 patterns, which I showed you on the video with Becca. I bought The First Day of Christmas by Hello Liz Matthews. Oh, Hello from Liz Matthews. The Second Day of Christmas. The Third Day of Christmas. And the 4th Day of Christmas. In the annex at Keepsakes. They call for NPI silks. The models are done in NPI silk. but she also has the DMC conversion. I'm going to do it in the NPI silk on 46 count Bristol white linen. I'm just waiting for that to come. I have all the NPI thread. I just don't have the linen yet. And it doesn't call for very many colors. And she uses the same colors on all the patterns. She adds a couple colors sometimes for a particular pattern that needs a couple more colors, but for the most part she uses the same colors, which is really nice. I met Almond M&Ms, was there at Weekend Bee. Check out her YouTube channel. She does the most amazing stitching, 1/1, one strand of floss over one fabric thread on 56 count fabric. That's 56 stitches per inch. And on 46 count fabric, that's 46 stitches per inch. Her stitching was lovely to see, just gorgeous. Check out her channel. And I met so many floss tubers and stitchers at StitchCon. I was so happy to meet all of you. It was so fun. I don't have time to list them all, everyone I talked to and met, I'm sorry. I just couldn't go through that whole long list, but if you would like to see what floss tubers were there, you can go to the StitchCon website and they have a list there of all the floss tubers that were at StitchCon. They all have amazing videos. I'm working my way through them all slowly because I didn't know all of them before I went. So now I want to watch all of them because they're all amazing. All right, let's see. Did I do everything? Talked about the new starts. Oh, I had one more project bag that I bought in the annex that I forgot. This is Creative Country Girl. She has a Flosstube channel as well. I bought this beautiful bag that she made, and I actually met her. She came in and talked to me for a few minutes, and I got to meet her. This bag is gorgeous. I can't wait to use it. I think 12 days might go in here, this project. I think. I'll try it out. I think so. Beautiful bag. Lovely lady. It was so fun to meet her. So many gorgeous things to buy in the annex. It was hard to know even just to restraint. It was hard to have any restraint at all. I think I covered everything. I hope that's everything. I hope I didn't miss anything. And hopefully I'll be back in a few weeks to make another video, and we'll see you next time. Went to review the video and realized I didn't show you the stitching that I did at StitchCon. Oh my goodness. Can you still have jet lag like a week later, week and a half later? We'll just blame it on that, okay? My stitching on the plane project, because I flew to Cincinnati from Salt Lake, was Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. I am stitching mine with sulky 12 weight thread. I bought mine from sulky.com, SULKY.com. They make lots of different types of sewing thread. Most people know them for the thinner thread that you use on a sewing machine. But this is a thicker 12 weight cotton thread. It's about the thickness of 2 strands of DMC. This is what I'm using on Pandemic. I'm using this. They have some variegated colors that they call blendable. This is called Cactus on their website. It's also number 4086. That's the main color I'm using. I'm using their solid turquoise color number 1095 for all the animals. For the back stitching, on the regular part, I'm using 1 strand of DMC 520. For the back stitching on the animals, I'm using 1 strand of 3810. And then around the border, just that little edge that goes right around the border of the project. I'm using a solid dark green number 1271 sulky. I'm stitching mine on 36 count white linen, 1 strand of sulky over 2 fabric threads. And I worked on this section right here. It's 2 guys carrying a huge bunch of grapes on a pole that they have strung between that it's resting on their shoulders. I believe this is a Bible story from when Moses and the children of Israel left Egypt and went to the promised land where they went. When they got there, they had sent 2 people in to check it out, and they came back with these huge grapes. That's what I think anyway. It is an old motif used on old samplers all the time. This is what I have so far. It was a great project to work on the plane because I just had that one, I just worked on that one color while I was on the plane. You may have seen a picture on Instagram where I showed working on it on the plane, and I had several needles threaded all stuck in there together, and I had a couple people ask me if I always stitch like that, and I don't. I just did that because I was on the plane. I preloaded several needles before I got on the plane and stuck them up in the corner of I had it on a Q-snap and stuck them up in the corner so that while I was stitching on the plane, when one ran out, I could just quickly grab another one and keep stitching. I wouldn't have to go fishing for my scissors. So that just made it more handy on the plane. And then I also worked on it the day I flew. After I got there that evening, I hadn't unpacked my suitcase and everything yet, so I just kept working on this piece. And then the day we left, I had already packed up everything in my suitcase and checked out of the hotel. So I worked on this piece all day long while we were still in Cincinnati, and then also on the plane. So it got 2 solid days of work on it while I was there. I also worked on Hoity Toity, H-O-I-T-Y-T-O-I-T-Y, also a long dog sampler pattern. It will look like this when it's finished. I am using Missus Sedas silks. She sells a silk pack conversion, her own conversion that she chose, and she dyes. She sells hand-dyed silk floss that she dyed, colors she chose and dyed. So I'm using the pack that I bought from her, her conversion. I decided not to use this pink, but I added several reds instead. The reds are ones that I added. And I added a couple of other colors as well, a brown. A list of everything that I changed is in the description box below. And I had specifically stitched all of the flowers in the border from here to here before I went to StitchCon, knowing that sitting there at StitchCon while you're talking to people and shopping and you get interrupted a lot would be a good time to just fill in all that really dark gray background around it. So that's what I did at StitchCon, was I filled in that border. So that was fun. This is 40 count mallow linen, 1 strand of the silk over 2 fabric threads. And then the only other piece I worked on was my new start during Mania, where I am stitching all of the Prairie Schooler ABC. The charts are just named A, B, C, D, E, F, and there are 12 of them, I believe, charts. I started with ABC. I'm stitching all of mine on the same piece of fabric, but I eliminated, I'm going to combine 2 letters so that there are only 24 squares. They'll be arranged like this. And all of the blocks are not the exact same size. There are close to 70 by 100, but they're all different. So I'm going to edit the patterns so that they are all 70 by 100, so they'll fit nicely on the same piece of fabric. And this is what I have so far. This is 28 count. It's a cream colored linen, and I'm stitching over 1 thread, 1 strand of DMC over 1 fabric thread. So that ends up being 28 stitches per inch on 28 count fabric if you're just stitching over 1 thread. I finished the A block, started on the B block. This red is charted to be a really dark red. I chose a lighter red that is also used in the pattern in some of the later blocks so that the red would show up better. I'm using 918, and I think it called for 3857, but I wanted the red to show up a little better against this dark 3371, this dark brown. I wanted the red to show up a little better, so I chose a lighter red. And those are all of the things that I worked on at StitchCon. My son, Andrew, is the editor for these videos. He does an amazing job. He's so wonderful. If you are interested in any video editing, his contact information will be at the end of the video. And I will also give you an updated picture, a little clip of the wee village. It's a bit overgrown right now because I was out of town for so long and I haven't had a chance to trim it. So it's looking a little abandoned at the moment, but it's still fun because everything is growing and blooming. So Andrew will put a clip of that here as well. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Go down there and there. And then it goes all the way on here. But it's from the water all the way on there, and this side, and when we turn it on, it goes all the way through that box and here. Through it. Come out of this, go in the woods. In here, on a plate, and then it goes back around.
What happened to that plate?
It got set on a dirt, so we use it to swing down the water. Water?
Little houses?
Oh,
Who lives in them, do you think?
bumblebees.
Bumblebees live in that one?
Yeah.
What about this one?
Oh, bumblebees.
More bumblebees? What about those up there?
People.
People? What are the people doing up there?
They're setting up for Halloween.
Oh.
And that's a Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I already talked
A
about
jack-o'-lantern?
that. Yeah. And that house is
This one?
people.
People live in there?
That's a blue sheep. And what's that house called?
What is this one called, Lila?
What's this house called? What's that called? What's that house called? It's for butterflies.
Butterflies. Ooh, nice.
What's-
What about the other house then? Are they both for butterflies?
No, that one is just for bad guy butterflies.
Bad guy butterflies? What about this light?
It's just a light up.
It's just a light up. It's just boring.
They're called sneezer lake. Everybody's allergic to them. That's why they're called sneezing lake. And what does that house have on it?
It has plants on the roof. That's pretty cool. What happened to that plate?
It got set on a dirt, so we use it to swing down the water.
What is this?
That is a water collection.
It is.
I see both that rock actually now here.
Mm-hmm.